Shalom, Ahab wa Baraka. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Wahara Kakodash, and double honors to the elder apostles, the prophets, and the teachers over at GMS that have been bringing out this 100% truth for the last 30 plus years. And to the sincere Akyawa Akwath, salutations. So I want to just get right into it. This is, Judge Joe Brown. And I just want you guys to understand, I've been wanting to bring this class out all week, but, my job's kind of demanding during the weekdays, so whatever. But what he's doing here is he's painting a picture. So I want you to listen carefully what he says, and we're going to break down exactly what he's getting paid by the oppressor to say. He's a scapegoat.
Judge Joe Brown. Maybe I'll tell you
He's the black sheep is what I mean. He's a black sheep. The black sheep the scapegoat runs up the ladder to the slaughterhouse and gets all the other sheep to follow it up the ladder to the slaughterhouse. And then at the last second, the scapegoat has a little door, and the scapegoat goes off to the right-hand side and then walks off, and all the other sheep keep running, thinking that they're following the scapegoat, and they go right into the slaughterhouse. The point is this guy is sending anybody that listens to him to that same slaughterhouse. Let's get it.
Judge Joe Brown. Maybe I'll tell you a whole lot of stuff you never knew. Watch the whole interview here on INeverKnewTV.com Premium.
You made some comments about black Hebrews, right? Could you delve deeper into that, please?
Look, one of the primary staples of propaganda is to get people to misidentify and identify with mythological entities. And I have nothing against Jews. Hell, one of my agents was a Jew. He was an interesting guy. He was part Puerto Rican and part Chinese and got adopted by a Jewish family. All right. He called himself a mutt. But black folk running around trying to claim they're the original Jews, it's like, why are you doing that? And what is your purpose? And my analysis is they want something to identify with. You remember some years ago.
Now let's stop right there. It's not that the first church that was the first Baptist church that was ever built in America, what was it built by? Israelites. What did they put throughout all the pews and on the walls? Paleo-Hebrew writings everywhere, because we knew who we were back then. Why is it that you can look at old postcards talking about the Hebrews? Because they knew that we were the Hebrews. This guy is literally paid to paint a picture of a bunch of dumb imbeciles that know absolutely nothing. Yet we invented everything. We've done everything under the sun. And this is exactly the thanks we get from our own people. They run straight to the oppressor. And what do? They get their instructions, they get their paycheck, and they come back out and lie to you. Let me get this precept real quick. This is Titus chapter 1, and we're going to start at verse 10. For there are many unruly and vain talkers and deceivers, especially they of the circumcision. Guess what, guys? Dr. Joe Brown is an Israelite, but he hates his own people. That's the problem. And what is he doing when he's working with the oppressor? Verse 11, whose mouths must be stopped, who subvert whole houses, teaching things which they ought not for filthy lucre's sake. This motherfucker's getting paid to lie to you guys. And how is he subverting whole houses? How is he destroying your entire house? If you believe this garbage he's producing, where's his scripture? Where's his scientific and biological proof that we're not? Because we have that same scientific and biological proof that we are. I've taught these classes for years, and I got this bald-headed dummy on my fucking line right now. Look at this fool. look at this idiot, because that is, if you believe this guy is a paid dummy. He's not a real judge. He's an insert. Let's let him finish.
When everybody had to have one of these Oakland Raiders starter jackets. I had a guy in my courtroom.
A guy with an Oakland Raiders starter jacket. Judge Joe Brown, you are from San Francisco. Oakland is next to San Francisco. He's about to lie to you. This is a fucking made-up story. Yeah, every day. Yeah, back in the day when the starters came out, people were stealing starter jackets. But he wants to paint a picture of, we were stealing Oakland Raiders starter jackets only. Why? Because he wants to paint the picture of, first, we're going to have these people being painted as gangsters. So the first thing he does with Israelites, first he calls us stupid, saying that we want to just fit in. Now he's going to have an anecdote. He's going to do an anecdote about stealing Raiders jackets. Let's see what he says. Because now we're dummies that want to fit in, and now we're going to be hoodlum thieves. Let's see.
Who had been stealing Oakland Raiders starter jackets. So I'm talking to him. He's trying to get probation. I said, well, who are the Raiders? I don't know.
Bullshit. A nigga doesn't know who the Raiders are. Who are the Oakland Raiders? I don't know. You know this is a made-up story. They wrote this story and then told Judge Joe Brown, go say this to the niggers. And he said, yes, sir, master, sir. Yes, master.
I said, well, what is that with the eye patch and the bones? Doesn't it have a football helmet on it? Yeah, is that what that is? Yeah, that's a football helmet.
See, he already said that we were stupid idiots trying to fit in the first sentence. Now he's painting a picture of us being stupid fucking hoodlums that don't know shit. Don't even know what an Oakland Raider is. We don't know what a fucking... Man, this dude is... This should irritate all of Israel. Even the people that don't like the idea that they're Israel. Even the people that deny Israel. What this guy is saying is all black people are stupid and just want to fit in. We're nothing but a bunch of gangsters so far. Let's keep going. Oops, sorry. Salakia.
He didn't even know his football team. Where's Oakland? He didn't know where Oakland was. But he's identified with that because he wants to belong. So there was this thing about 35 years ago.
Dumb nigger wants to belong to
everybody
something.
Wanted an Oakland Raiders starter jacket because you looked like you were part of some group, even if...
You would look like... What group are you trying to be part of? What group? You see what I'm saying? He's literally painting a picture because they weren't just stealing Oakland Raiders jackets. People were stealing starter jackets when they first came out. They would walk right behind you and just grab the fucking hood and pull it right off of you. I remember those days. I'm from LA. I remember. It wasn't just he's trying to paint a picture of these guys want to look like NWA. Where do you get your Oakland Raiders look from? NWA. See this punk motherfucker? You know that he's literally lying. He's literally lying to you just for a buck from the oppressor. Who subvert whole houses. Who subvert whole houses. Let's keep going.
If you didn't know it was a football team, even if you did know it was a football team, you couldn't tell us who the quarterback was. Oakland Raiders. Where do the Oakland Raiders play? I don't know. How about Oakland? They didn't know. But this
liar
urge to identify, it's like the Nazis did this too. Aryans.
Wait a second. Now he went from comparing us to dummies, saying that we're wannabe gangsters, we just want to fit in, so he's comparing us to being in a gang. Now he's comparing us to Nazis. So we're dumb, wannabe gangster Nazis that are just trying to fit in.
Supermen. Who are the Aryans? Aryans exist. Technically, they're called Indo-Aryans. I-N-D-O hyphen Aryan. You see them all the time. Kamala Harris was an Indo-Aryan. That's what most Hindu are, Aryans. They're from India. They did have something anciently to do with Germany.
Nothing to do with what he's talking about. Just some babble.
They were dark-skinned, swarthy, dark hair, dark eye. but they came up with a mythological thing so people could identify with them. They moved their origin from the Indus River Valley, which is going into Asia, to the far north in the land of snow and ice. And the same thing's going on. I mean, if that's what you want to do, but don't look at it as all of a sudden now you have some pride. Because psychologically, what you're telling me is you're ashamed of what you really are, so you're trying to figure out something else you can identify with to escape the onus of being what you are. See, I'm black and I'm proud. We worked hard at that because there had been so much in American culture to make black folk ashamed of what they were. We came up.
We're not fucking black, you piece of shit paid operative. We're not black. We are not black. We are Yashar Allah. Just like the Indians are Indian from light to dark. Just like if you were to go to China, you got light to dark. They're called Chinese people, all of them. You go to Africa, they're called Africans. Even if you were part of apartheid, you would still be called African. In other words, if you were a part of, hold on for a second. If you were a part of the white people that oppressed all the black people and took their land. Sorry about that. Let's listen to what he said again.
Want to do, but don't look at it as all of a sudden now you have some pride. Because psychologically, what you're telling me is you're ashamed of what you really are, so you're trying to figure out something else you can identify with to escape the onus of being what you are. See, I'm black and I'm proud.
No, you're black and you're proud. We are Yashar Allah, the prince of a godlike power. Now, if you refuse to wake up with your badass attitude and your little pouty face, guess what, bro? You got paid to say that garbage. And the Most High is going to deal with you the same way you trying to deal with us. I can't wait until he gets here. I can't wait. I can't wait. All right, Mr. Black and Proud. I'm going to bring out just a couple precepts and I'm going to call it. This dude's got me so irritated. I can't believe that he would say the things that he said and act like he can get away with it. I cannot wait until the Most High Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, judges this egghead, pouty-faced fool. You're a fool. Judge Joe Brown, you are no judge. In fact, where is that? Hold on now. I could have swore I had something about that too. Let me get that too. Hold on, I'm getting in my notes now. This dude got me all now. Let me get in these notes. Because this guy is a liar. He's not balanced. But we're going to start with Solomon. In fact, Songs of Solomon. Let's go to it, everybody. All of my brothers and sisters. What does Songs of Solomon 1 and 6 say? What does it say? Let's read it together. Look not upon me because I am black, because the sun hath looked upon me. This is Solomon, the Jew, the ruler, the leader, the king of Israel, an Israelite, a black man. Let's read it again. Don't look upon me because I am black, because the sun hath looked upon me. My mother's children were angry with me. They made me the keeper of the vineyards, but mine own vineyard have I not kept. The point is what did he tell you? I'm black and beautiful. Wait, there's more. Let's go to, this one's really good too. Job. Come on, brothers and sisters. Let's get Job 30 and 30 for Judge Joe Brown. He don't remember nothing, or maybe he just don't know anything. Being as smart as he is, he don't even know what the Bible says, but who does, right? King James Version, 30 and 30. My skin is black upon me. Woo! Shall I keep reading? And my bones burn with fever. Woo! Do you like that? Do you like that? You like that, huh? You like that. I know you do. So, let's keep going. Let's get another one. Let's get one more. Let's get one more. Let's go to the end all be all. In fact, let's get Revelation chapter 1, Wycliffe Bible. Let me say it again. Revelation chapter 1, Wycliffe Bible. For Judge Joe Brown, because Judge Joe Brown don't know nothing about the Wycliffe Bible. That's before the Geneva Bible. This is one of the very first Bibles that was ever created. If it's going to let me find it, I don't even know if it's going to let me have the Wycliffe. It's giving me every version but the Wycliffe. Isn't that crazy? It'll give me the NIV. It wants to show me any version, but you know why it doesn't want to show me the version of the Wycliffe? Because it says Yahushua was so dark. It was like the inside of a dirty chimney. And what color is that? Judge Joe Brown? He was so dark, he was dark. So I don't know what you're talking about fit in. We don't fit in with this society. We don't fit in with these people. And when we go back to the truth, we find out that we're just slaves and we're sacrifices. But here comes Judge Joe Brown wanting to tell us the real truth, right, Judge Joe Brown? Let's get it again. The Book of Revelation in the Wycliffe Bible from the 1300s. There it is. See, why was it so hard? Why was that so hard, huh? It doesn't want to give you the Wycliffe Bible, and I'm going to show you why. Let's go to let's start at verse 14. And his head and his hair were white like wool, and as white as, I'm sorry, Salakia. I don't have my glasses on, so. let me zoom in a little bit. Let me try again. Starting again at verse 14. This is Yahushua, Jesus, for all of you fucking idiots. All right, so verse 4, this is Revelation 1 and 14. And the head of him and his hairs were white, as white wool, and as snow, and the eyes of him as flame of fire from anger. Verse 15, and his feet were like to latten, and his feet were like to dross of gold or latten, as in a burning chimney. And the voice of him as the voice of many waters. So that latent is that dirt, dross, dirt on the inside of a chimney. That's how fucking dark he was. So when you're going to sit here and try and say, we're trying to fit in, why is it that it says completely true in the Bible that we would be servants and that people would be ruling over us? Well, let's find out if I'm telling the truth or not. We really need to get to the book of Deuteronomy, because this dude is a bold-faced liar. So I'm going to remind him of one thing, because, we got to get this. Because we are going to be scattered to the four corners of the earth, and we were going to serve wood and stone, right? Deuteronomy 28:64. Let's just jump right in there and grab it. Let's grab it. Because this guy forgot all about this stuff that was going to happen to us for not keeping the laws. Or he knows about it, and he got told, this is your script. I want you to paint a picture of them being stupid, being in a gang, and I want you to relate them to Nazis. You're a fucking asshole. You're a bald, egg-headed asshole, and I can't wait until Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai slaps the taste out your mouth publicly. Because that's what he's going to do to you. He is publicly going to take you out. And I can't wait. I can't wait. Deuteronomy 28:64, and it reads, and the Lord shall scatter. You know what? Let's start at 63. And it shall come to pass that that as Yahweh rejoiced over you to do you good and to multiply you, so Yahweh will rejoice over you to destroy you. Who's he destroying? Oh, all of those Israel, they've been getting destroyed. No, they own the world. They own all the news stations. They own all the TV stations. They own all the radio stations. They own the newspapers. They own the narrative. They own the money. That's The enemy, that's the oppressor. They're not this people. This people are oppressed. That is us. That is Israel. I don't know where you get this bullshit from, man. These guys with their bullshit, you know what I'm
We
saying?
worked hard at that because
I hate his voice. I hate his face. I hate everything about him. So let's read it. And it shall come to pass that as Yahweh rejoiced over you to do you good and to multiply you, so Yahweh will rejoice over you to destroy you and to bring you to naught, which means nothing. And ye shall be plucked from off the land whither thou goest to possess it. Here's the point. Here's the point. And Yahweh shall scatter you among all people. That's us. Oh, we're just trying to fit in. Because we don't know the fuck we are. And let me explain. Watch. Let me keep going. From one end of the earth to the other, one end of the earth, even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods which neither thy nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. And listen very carefully. And among these nations shalt thou find no ease. Who's getting killed in the street, bro? Is it those guys that own the radio stations and the news stations that run around screaming that they're Israelis, they're Khazars, they're Orthodox? What are they? Why are they wearing those big giant helmets, furry helmets? Because they were cold up there in Russia, in Petra in Georgia, where the Edomites come from. So, and among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest, but Yahweh shall give thee there a trembling heart, a failing of eyes, and a sorrow of mind. And that's this guy. He doesn't even know that he has a trembling heart, the failing eyes, and a sorrow of mind. Your trembling heart, you're scared of the oppressor. They tell you what to do and what to say. So you've got to be sad inside because you don't got a life like us. You don't get to have that same kind of life as us. And let me bring out the greatest scripture of all time. You tell me who this happened to for 400 plus years. This is Deuteronomy 28:68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt, which is a Roman Greek word that means burnt skin. Biblically, it means bondage. So burnt skin will go into bondage again with ships. By the way thereof, I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. So the way we went into this slavery, you go ahead, Judge Joe Brown, show me, motherfucker, where somebody went in slave ships for 400 years before in history or any time after that in history. You're never going to see it again. It says that, and thou shalt see it no more again. So you'll never see that happen again to the Israelites. And there you shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. So we're going to be sold unto our enemies as slaves. And what it means by no man shall buy you, if you would go into the Levitical law, you would see that if I was enslaved and my brother came and said, oh, he's enslaved, what can I do to get him out? Well, he owes this much. We want this much out of him. And so my brother could come and pay for my freedom. During the transatlantic slave trade, you could get freeman papers. But they would never free one of their slaves that they paid insurance on. They were getting paid for all that. It's a business. It's completely like giving away free your business equipment, the stuff that you use every day, and you're just going to give it away for free. And no man shall buy you. So they're never going to set you free. Yet this day we're slaves right now. We're slaves right now. And this guy don't even know it because he's so stupid. He thinks that if he can go run to the oppressor, that the oppressor's going to save him. And what do we know about that? What does it say about running to the oppressor before we get into more of this guy's stupidity? What does it say about running to the oppressor? Let's get it really quick. Shall we go with Jeremiah chapter 30 and 1? Or should we go with Jeremiah chapter 31 and 1? I'm going to go with Jeremiah chapter 30. I think it's 30. I might have went off. Yes, Jeremiah chapter 30 and whoops, I'm sorry. I apologize. Isaiah. I'm so excited to just cut this guy a new one. Just so excited to spiritually chop you up. I'm all over the place. So Isaiah chapter 30. I apologize. Isaiah chapter 30. We're going to go to Isaiah 31. Isaiah chapter 30 and then chapter 31. We're going to go with 31 this time. And this is for you, Judge Joe Brown, because you really think that the oppressor is going to save you. You're stupid. You're going to go out there and get paid, and then they're going to take the money back as soon as you piss them off. That's what they do to everybody. Any celebrity that is so-called black, they make you look like a fool in the end. Let's get Jeremiah 31:1 for all these fools that think that they can go to the oppressor. And what does it say? It says, woe unto them that go down to Egypt. There's that word again. That go down to the oppressor, to oppression, slavery. Remember that word. It means to be a slave. So you're going to go down to Egypt for help. You're going down to the oppression for help. And stay on horses and trust in chariots because they are many, and the horsemen because they are strong. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord. That's you, bro. Let's get that in a different version. Isaiah 31 Bible Hub. Isaiah 31 Bible Hub. Whoops. Sorry about that. Isaiah 31:1 Bible Hub. There we go. We want to get that. We want to get that NLT version or the NIV. But watch this. Let's read it again. This is Isaiah 31:1. Woe to those that go down to Egypt for help and rely on horses, whose trust in chariots because there are many, and in horsemen because they are very strong, but do not look to the Holy One of Israel or consult Yahweh. That's this guy. He doesn't even know that we're captives. Because they gave him a little money and told him he's no longer a slave. Just as long as he does what he's told. And I'm telling you, man, that was the most scripted anecdote story I've ever heard. I got one more precept and then we're going to be out of here. In fact, because I got to bring this out. Because this guy doesn't know shit. He really thinks that those people in Israel, the Amalekites, those Israelis, he thinks that those are Yashar Allah. You got to be joking, right, bro? You got to be joking. That does not line up to anything that's written in the Bible. So let's go ahead and get it. Let's go ahead and go to the book of Baruch. And I'm just proving right now that we're still in captivity. We are still in this captivity until Yahushua comes down and saves us according to the book of Revelation, chapter 11 and verse 12. And he said unto them, and they heard a voice from heaven, and they said unto him, come up hither, and they have ascended into heaven, and their enemies beheld him. Let's go to Baruch, though, because this is what I'm talking about. Baruch, chapter 3, and we're going to start at verse 7. And what does it say? You know what? Let's start let's start at verse 5, and we're just going to read. We're going to read a couple down. Remember not the iniquities of our forefathers, but think upon thy power and thy name, Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua. Now at this time, okay? Don't think about our iniquities anymore, because now it's time for us to come out of that. Let's keep reading. For thou art Yahweh our God, and thee, O Yahweh, we praise. So we're going to praise Yahweh no matter what. Let me prove it. Verse 7. Verse 7. And for this cause, thou hast put thy fear in our hearts. That's us, the Hebrew Israelites that you guys are trying to stop at all costs. Not one precept, not one Bible verse, no scientific or biological evidence, just a mouthful of bullshit. So what did he say? He said, and for this cause, thou hast put thy fear in our hearts. That is the law, statutes, and commandments and the understanding of these scriptures. To the intent that we should call upon thy name, not Jesus, not parquet butter, not Yahuwah, not Yahushua, not Yah. It's Yahweh, B'Hashem, Yahushua. So we're going to call on the correct name so we get that correct blessing. So, like I said, to the intent that we should call upon thy name and praise thee in our captivity. What? So we're still captives, but now we know who we are again, so we're praising Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua. This stupid idiot really thinks that he's going to get away with what he said. We are literally waking up, and you are one of the operatives, the ops. You're one of our ops because you're trying to stop the awakening. But what does the scripture say? You can't do nothing against the truth, but for the truth. In fact, let me get that real quick. Like I said, I just want to make sure I'm saying it right. It says we can do nothing against the truth, but for the truth. 2 Corinthians 13:8. So when this guy thinks that he's actually destroying the Israelites, all you're doing is actually, you're literally waking the children up also. Because now that you said, oh, these black Hebrews or fake black Hebrew, whatever you want to call us, saying that we want to fit in, now people are checking into it. They want to find out why Judge Joe Brown's disputing these guys. There must be something for them to bring out every celebrity, every weapon, every possible trick up their sleeve to try and stop this truth. But like I said, you can't do nothing against the truth, but for the truth. Let's go back to Baruch and get back to that proof that that we are those people. Because in verse 8, it literally starts off by saying, yet this day in our captivity, because we're still slaves, where thou hast scattered us to the four corners of the earth. We're all over the place, and every place we are, we get oppressed the same. Yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach, a repayment, and a curse. Why? Because of the sins against Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua. And to be subject to payments. So what do we do right now? We pay for everything physically, and we're doing spiritual payments. But physically, you can see that they make it the society just so, like, they literally base everything on the people in the ghettos. Let's pay them just under the amount it takes to survive. And then we'll force them into taking government subsidies so we can always keep track of them. Now, this is his idea. This is where we fit in with this guy. We fit in the ghettos, right? The designated area of town where the Jews are required to dwell. This guy's stupid. You're just straight stupid. Because if you knew anything, you wouldn't stand 5 minutes with me or any of the other brothers. I don't even in the other camps even. You ain't standing 5 minutes with nobody. But when it comes to GMS, GMS has 100% truth. You get straight. You'll get decapitated spiritually with this word. It'll cut you to smithereens. So, yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse, to be subject to payments, according to all the iniquities of our forefathers, which departed from Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua. The point is the people that he's going against are the people that are being described in this book. And the people that you're saying is Israel, they're also in this book, but they are not Israelites. In fact, they'll even tell you who they are. That's the weird thing. They know who they are. We know who they are. But for some reason, you guys don't know who they are. So let me show you. This is who you're dealing with. So Joe Brown, no, those people in Israel are not Israelites. And no, we're not trying to fit in with anything. We're taking back what's ours. We're taking back our reality, our culture. And if you don't like it, go hide under a rock. But I guarantee you one thing, you ain't going to bring that same energy when your Yahushua gets here. So let's go to Revelation 3:9. And it says, behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. And they got you, little scapegoat, out there lying for them, right there on the front lines. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee. That prophecy hasn't been fulfilled. Only half of it has been fulfilled. We know that they're the synagogue of Satan, so guess what's coming next? They're going to be worshiping at our feet. Not your feet. You're going to be down there with them. You're going to be worshiping at their feet while they're at our feet. You're going to be feeling stupid. I hope you bring that same energy when Yahushua gets here. Shalom.